back, YouTube. Thanks for checking out Fat Guy Builds. Once again, we're on a 3500 Dodge Cummins 6.7 and we're going to do a AFE cold air intake. Here's a before shot of the stock airbox. And here's what it looks like after. Here's the part number. This is 2013 to 2018. No oil, so it's an oilless filter, which is good. Alright, here's what you get in the box. Here's your oilless filter. You get your main intake tube. You get some weather stripping, a few screws. That's probably for the MAF sensor and the air temp sensor. And then you get your air box. Here's the part number for just the air filter, for in the future if you want to swap out a really messed up dirty air filter. You're going to sit the air box with the grate part down, and then this right here you're going to put on. They did pre-cut slits for the corners. The issue is, on mine at least, the pre-cut is off by about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to have to cut it again here on the corner so I can make this bend correctly. But you're going to put that all the way around to help seal against the hood. This is what it should look like once you're done. Very first thing we want to do is unplug these two sensors, right here and right here. To get this connector off, use a flathead and pop up this red tab, and that will allow you to press the button here and pull it off. I'll take a 7mm socket, remove each one of these screws, and pull the sensors out and put them in a safe spot. Now we need to get the wiring disconnected from the airbox here, so use a flathead screwdriver or a panel popper and pop this off of the airbox lid. Use an 8mm socket and loosen all of these mounting screws all the way around. Use a 5/16 socket or a flathead to loosen this hose clamp that holds on to this airbox. Now that all of that is loose, you just wiggle this. It'll untab and take this out of the car. Remove the air filter. Follow the stock air hose, and it's going to be 1, 2, and it's the third hose clamp down. You're going to remove that with the same 5/16, and then we'll remove this top half and get to the next step. So they use these little crappy baffles so that the soccer moms that buy a 3500 diesel can not be irritated by the noise. It even has, when you take it out, it has a tongue that sticks out to lick the ass of all the Dodgers on the road. Ooh, oh, it feels so good. Alright, so we have the bottom piece still on the turbo, the factory bottom. So I'm going to just verify the tightness on the clamp on the turbo. Alrighty, we are going to stick in the sensors now. So obviously small sensor goes in a small hole. You're going to want to put a little bit of like bearing grease or something around this O-ring. And then when you're putting it in, give it a wiggle like this while you're pushing, because if you just jam it in, you're probably going to rip that O-ring and then it's going to leak. Put in the supplied screws, then use a flathead to tighten them down. Make sure when you put the MAF in, the arrow points to the skinny side. So from the air filter, the arrow should be pointing to the turbo. Before we can put the intake tube in, we have to first put this metal piece in. Just have the air filter sort of in there. And then you're going to take these screws from the stock box, and we're going to put the 2 screws, one here and one here, tighten it down. Poke out the filter from the housing, then put the clamp loosely over the air filter, then jam the intake pipe into the filter and tighten down your hose clamp. Now get into that bottom clamp by the turbo and screw it in. We're going to take the connectors now and we're going to re-plug in the MAF and the air temp sensor. Don't forget, on this connector, once you plug it in, push down this red tab to lock it in place. Now that both of the connectors are plugged in, you're pretty much done. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming and checking out my Fat Guy Builds video. And you can pick this up at edgeautosport.com. They can order pretty much any part that you can need for any project that you're doing. So until next time, wrench on.